NATO plans to assign new concrete targets for how many more tanks, planes and other weapon systems member countries need to produce, which may require raising the alliance's defense spending goal to as much as 3% of gross domestic product. Now, that's according to officials familiar with the matter. So let's bring in Bloomberg's Andrea Palasciano. Andrea, thank you so much. We want to talk a lot more about, of course, this Bloomberg scoop. What can you tell us about, how that pits European countries against the U.S.?
So we had seen this coming. The new Secretary General had been repeatedly saying that the current 2% spending target was not enough. So while this is not a full surprise, this comes very soon after he first took office. And we know that Donald Trump has repeatedly pushed in his first presidency his European allies within NATO to spend more. And they have. So compared to a few years ago, a lot more NATO countries are reaching the 2% spending target. So if the target now were to be raised again, that would probably be rather well received in the U.S.
So, Andrea, at the moment, how much does it change, the system according to now? Does this stick Europe together, closer together, or are they worried about it breaking apart, and so they're trying to put this lockstep, this in stone?
So right now, there is a bit of discrepancy within Europe between the biggest spenders like Poland, for example, who spend more than 4%. This year, they have pledged 4.7% of their GDP on defense. And then other countries, such as the biggest spenders on Ukraine, for example, Germany, they barely reached the 2%. They are 2.1% this year. So this is likely to ruffle some feathers within the European countries of NATO. But ultimately, this is in line with the current trend in Europe, that there is an awakening and an understanding that a lot more needs to be spent on defense. And that is also true within the EU, not just at NATO. So ultimately, this is the direction things are going.
Andrea, thanks so much. Andrea Palasciano there with, of course, this extremely important Bloomberg scoop.